President Donald Trump drove away what he termed as illegal immigrants, and now American agricultural sector is on the knees due to inadequate labor. In California, workers watch over 2 billion worth of crops go to waste, as around 4,000 farm workers were laid off by the United States government in the name of illegal immigrants. The price of groceries has shot by around 40% in 2 weeks, a massive increase of all time. The construction industry was also left hanging, as contractors say they lost around 80% of their workers. Schools, hospitals, and buildings have been left half done. The medical industry is also suffering. Around 50% of nurses left the country, leaving a big gap in shortage. The hotel industry has also closed doors. No cooks, no dishwashers, no cleaners. Americans want the illegal and the undocumented immigrants gone. But now the hunter becomes the hunted.
Right now, we're in a very dire situation. September is upon us. Harvest is starting in the deep south, and we have 0 bushels of soybeans on the books to be sold to China for this current crop that's about to come out of the field. Historically, over the last 5 years, about a third of soybean sales to China would be booked. China amounts to 25% of our total U.S. soybean crop. So that would be 8 or 9% of the whole U.S. crop would normally be on the books with China right now, and we have 0.
Now, it's good to remember that in the month of September, most fields are ready for harvesting in America. But most produce rot in the farms as there are no workers to put up or to pick it up. This brings up some questions. First, who will save the farm economy? Second, will Trump find ways to tackle the inflation crisis? Third, who will stand in for the losses incurred and yet to be incurred by the American farmers? Fourth, crops severely affected, or maybe fourth is there a way in which the Americans can save the situation, or will they go back and change the former plan, bring back the immigrants, then document them? Some of the crops that are severely affected include soybeans, oilseeds, Oregon. These crops are a major export, a few of them.
That is alarming. The farm economy as a whole is struggling. Inflation has caused our cost of production to rise drastically on every front. Commodity prices, in particular soybeans, are down about 50% from where they were 3 years ago. And our numbers are deeply in the red. And we send this letter to President Trump because we've been talking for months about needing to have sales in place, a deal in place, a phase 2 type agreement that has purchase commitments along with a level playing field on trade with no tariffs. And we haven't had anything happen, unfortunately. And our appeal to President Trump and his administration is make soybeans a priority in any trade negotiations that are taking place. Soybeans are the #1 agriculture export to China. And in the last trade war, it was 71% of the losses that we had as American farmers. And they're critical.
Yeah, so if we look at, and we're going to divide. So I'll stay with grain and oilseeds because that's what I do day to day. But I just have to say one thing about livestock. For livestock folks, we're in good world for them right now. So I'd love to be able to have as good a world that they're having in GNO, but we just don't. And so there's just so many things, and it's really a supply story this year. When you think about across the globe, we haven't had a year where every country's almost saying all 8 cylinders where we're getting full production. And that's where we are right now. It's also too a bit of a dichotomy in the US is that you've got we're building corn stocks, but the world is not. Well, it's just the opposite in soybeans, where the world's building soy stocks and we're not. And so it's a very weird world, but the fact is we just have so much supply in the world, that's just going to keep prices, really on the defensive.
Now, most of the workforce in America comes from South California, with most of the farm workers being immigrants who have always been willing to work on the farms and make the ends meet. Now, the absence of these workers has had regrettable losses to the farmers. Let's hear some of the comments so that we may know how bad the situation is.
It's about $250,000 to $300,000 worth of revenue.
Just
just
left to right.
Yeah, which is one thing, but it's also lost revenue for the workers that would have been able to.
Let's crack our ribs a little bit. Let's be free thinkers for a moment, just a while. Now, is all this new to the ranch and farm owners who are now facing losses? No. They knew Trump's policies very well. They heard Trump say that he would send away all the significant farm workers. Yet, they went ahead and voted for him. Did Trump deliver his promise to the Americans? My answer is yes. By being voted in, Trump believed this is exactly what Americans wanted. The immigrants must go. Decisions have consequences, they say. In Florida, citizens are now plowing over perfect legal tomatoes as Trump's tariff policies cause prices to plummet and workers to flee. Have we now realized that field workers were important? A job is a job narrative isn't working here now. Do we now agree that immigrants are not taking your jobs as you said? Or are you willing to go to the fields and pick the rotting tomatoes?
I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
He said, I love you, Mr. Trump. I need to see the fruit of your love.
5 of my customers have committed. That's how serious that this is.
And what it costs for us to farm is astronomical now.
I farm with paid-for equipment. All my tractors are 50 years old, and I can't hardly make this deal work. I think the tariffs are the ice cream on the cake of a perfect storm.
After a horrible year last year where most farmers in Arkansas Delta lost money, this year's going to be worse.
We made a decision to go out this year in the spring. So my son will not be the seventh generation on our farm.
We're going to lose 25 or 30% of the farmers in this country if they don't do something. It has to be done, and it's not just here. It's everywhere.
There's been a lot of noise in the last few days and a lot of questions about where the president stands in his vision for farm labor. The first thing I'll say is the president has been unequivocal that there will be no amnesty.
I just can't understand how all these ranchers voted for Trump, knowing he was going to deport all their workers. The best men they had, and yet they still went and voted for him. Someone please explain to me how you can turn your back on the very people who keep your ranch running. These workers weren't just employees. They were the backbone of the entire operation. The ones who made sure everything got done from sunrise to sunset. Now look at Nebraska. They don't have workers anymore. The fields are empty. Crops are left unharvested. And ranches are just crumbling because they don't have enough hands to take care of their cattle. Now they're begging the government for help. But guess what? Even the government won't be able to fix the mess overnight. It turns out that getting skilled and hardworking people isn't as easy as they thought. Now they are regretting what they did. They never should have voted for Trump in the first place. You don't just kick people out of your fields and expect another group of people to come and work as if nothing just happened. That is not how this works. This should be a lesson to everyone and anyone. Take care of your workers. Just protect and speak up for them, because you never know when you are going to need them again. Remember, you never know what you have until it's all gone. Hello, Nebraska. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, and share. Don't forget to leave some comment down there so that we can all share. Thank you.